some very interesting subjects. I took a chance to look at something that he had posted on the Facebook page, and there was a guy talking about how he had received information on a design for a free energy machine, and there was a PDF that described this free energy machine, and man, wow, was that... I think it was funny where the guy said, you know, I'm not a scientist, so I don't think I'll ever build one of these. And I was like, let's see how complicated it is. So I looked at it. Yeah, it's pretty much beyond me. So I think Marko is going to be talking both about myths and realities in relation to what the modern ideas from Nikola Tesla. I think last speech was more about a history, sort of a history lesson. This speech is going to go beyond that. Every month we all have to, or every 2 months, we pay our electricity bills, and usually we don't think about it. It's just something you go, I hope it's not too much this time. I don't remember how much did I use the heater or the air conditioner, but I think electricity is something that we all use every day, but we take for granted. So let's learn more about it. Thanks, Marko.
Okay. First of all, I also want to thank everybody for coming. And before I start, I want to mention that if I say something wrong or that is not completely true, feel free to interrupt me and discuss it. Okay. So this presentation is going to be as fun and as interesting as possible. So, first of all, I would like to ask you, how many of you have ever heard of Thomas Edison? Okay. Good. So what do you know about Thomas Edison? What do you know about Thomas Edison?
He invented the light bulb.
Okay, what else?
Stole Tesla's stuff.
Yeah. Besides that. Yeah, so, and we don't want to make this as a competition.
He was played by Mickey Rooney, who died 2 days ago.
Anything else? So you invented light bulb?
Telephone.
Telephone.
No.
No. It's not.
Internet.
Anything else?
Cell phones. Cell phones.
Very good talk. Thomas Edison was an American inventor, and he invented a phonograph. He invented a light bulb. Thomas Edison light bulb, the first one that worked. Motion picture.
Motion picture is not from the frère Lumière, from France?
No, it's...
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Check
This is Thomas Edison's
I
motion
know,
picture.
but
So probably there was other...
of motion pictures.
There's also Nikola Tesla's light bulb, which is different and better than Thomas Edison's.
I'm not talking about light bulb, but the
Yeah.
motion pictures is from the Lumière brother.
Okay, this is maybe his version of it.
Lumière.
His
It's
patent. Also, he invented his first invention was the electrographic boat recorder. Okay, so he was a cool guy too. Okay, now how about, do you know how to pronounce it? Guglielmo Marconi. What do you know about him? Have you ever heard of him?
He also invented something.
It's Italian, no?
Telegraph. Good.
Macaroni.
Yeah, Marko, yeah.
So what do you know about him? About Marconi?
He's Italian.
He's Italian. He invented the telegraph, so the first radio.
You're named by him, Marko. Right?
Yeah.
Not the Marko.
That's a different story. Alright, good. Now, the star of the night. So how many of you have ever heard of Nikola Tesla?
I went to the army with him.
Now, show of hands. How many of you have ever heard of Nikola Tesla?
I'm serious.
Alright, so for the camera, most of you raise your hands. And so, just for mention, it's not Nikola Tesla, like somebody is pronouncing his name, and it's not the car company, Tesla. So A lot of people, when I say Tesla, they think of the car company. And Nikola is spelled with K, not C. So, good. So not bad.
Everything.
So all of you raise your hands. And I don't know how many of you are studying technical sciences, but I'm doing my master's in computer science with focus on ad hoc wireless networks. And one day at one of the lectures, my colleague was presenting his research, and in his research he used a unit to measure for magnetic field strength called Tesla, pronounced Tesla. So you can see here in the 100 dinar, that's a Serbian currency, former Yugoslav currency. And so in his research he used this unit, Tesla. And after his presentation, the professor asked him, "You just used the unit called Tesla. Do you know who Tesla was?" So he answered, "Tesla, no." And then he asked the same question to the other 50 master and PhD students in the room, and I was the only one who raised my hand. So after that, our professor, who is Taiwanese, probably angered that his students don't know anything about Tesla, held a small lecture about him. And he even shared his experience from his travel to the Technical Museum in Zagreb. And he showed some videos from Nikola Tesla Museum in Belgrade. So we mentioned Edison at the beginning. But today I would not like to talk about how Tesla was amazing and Edison was a jerk. I'm not saying he was a jerk, because they are both very important for the world of science. Okay, so
Nikola, I know that, it's a rock band.
Nikola Tesla and Edison, they had a long war of currents that Tesla eventually won. But some would say Edison was driven by profit, and Tesla wanted to provide better world for the mankind no matter the money. So there's a YouTube video that describes the rivalship between Edison and Tesla. They had so-called war of currents. So this funny YouTube video is describing their rivalship, and then afterwards you can say, who do you think won in this rap battle? Let's hear it.
Step up, you'll be shot when I spit and start shouting. I'll flip your style and add it to my longest path. While you were busy digging ditches and burning bridges, I'm pumping out some benches, sacking bitches. So move back to your pitches. You're a geek, played by OCD. You never had sex, but you sure got screwed by me. I'm crushing Tesla. It's just no putting it gently. I don't alternate my flow. I dish you directly. I see a universe of people like energy with no potential for threat. From the 70s, you can call me Tesla. Make up the impact of the track. Giving lessons in electrical nemesis. This will be on the past. So confess to your best and let the whole world know what the Serbian did for the wizard of Menlo. History is getting rewritten and I'm glad. Your best invention was a word to speak. Truth hurts, you broken, washed up. Don't give a speech about your visions if they can't make a buck out of no business. Understood, things you never could. So dope that I even make New Jersey look good. I'm on the record, I invented. You got to there, I set it up at $250,000 that you'll never forget. Without me, here's a taste of what this battle would be. No lights, no camera, no sound. See? You fool, you think that you can touch me with this? You couldn't handle my gifts with your greedy little mind. What's inside mine was ahead of its own time. You did not steal from me, you stole me from mankind. It's a wireless transmission of truth, and it's a shocking real story of a back of a youth. And it's the people knew you stopped me from making power free. It was cursed upon Edison with every utility.
Good. So what do you think?
I think it's a good rap.
What do you think? Who won this battle?
It's obviously pro Tesla.
Okay.
The writer was obviously biased.
Why? Why do you think?
Because he made more of a caricature of the other guy.
Yeah.
It was That's good.
I also
I like it.
What did he say? I'm drunker than New Jersey, something like that, for Edison?
I even made New Jersey look good.
Oh.
He did it.
Okay, so they had water current, but that's it about the water current. We'll finish it with this video. So, Nikola Tesla symbolizes a unifying force and inspiration for all nations in the name of peace and science. He was a true visionary, far ahead of his contemporaries in the field of scientific development. New York State and many other states in the USA proclaimed July 10th as Tesla's birthday or Nikola Tesla's day. So why is Tesla so crucial to the modern world that we live in now? So, also brief introduction. Because in Edison's time, until the arrival of Tesla, there were only electric motors that worked on direct current, supplied from DC system. With Edison's direct current system, electricity was produced by a DC generator. The generator actually produced alternating current, which was then converted to direct current with a commutator. So DC can be transmitted up to 2 kilometers. So a small town would have to have 100 small electrical substations, so which is nearly impossible. So, but Tesla alternating current is something totally different. Small physics lecture. So we have Ohm's law that states that the current through a conductor between 2 points is directly proportional to the potential difference or voltage across the 2 points. So introducing the constant of proportionality, the resistance, this is the usual mathematical equation that describes this relationship. This one.
What is that? Is that L or I equals voltage over...
I equals voltage over resistance.
Uh-huh.
Current equals voltage over resistance. So, so there was a big problem with the heating losses in Edison's current. So in heating losses are described with this formula, where I is the current, and so that means if you're transmitting power, it is always best to keep the current as low as possible, and this is done by making the voltage high. So to keep the size of the wires reasonable, both because of cost and weight, voltage is stepped up to hundreds of kilovolts. So by stepping up voltage, that means that the resistance is lower. That means that the heating losses are lower. So this way the current can be transmitted to much further distance, which before Tesla was impossible.
You can rewrite this formula V square over R, and
Yeah.
so the heat loss is also proportional to square of voltage. Would it be a good strategy to increase voltage?
Yeah, that's what I said. It's a good strategy to increase voltage. This way, the heating losses are lower.
I think there would be also high losses. Whether you increase current or increase voltage.
Can you explain your?
So if you rewrite I square as V square over R squared, then you get Q equal to V square over R divided by R. So it's proportional to the V square. So even you increase voltage higher, then you get also higher heating losses.
Yeah, probably you're saying it's right. But
Nobody's going to disagree. Yeah, but if I
But,
square
He has a
Q,
PhD in physics. I think we should listen to him.
if you divide it by 2, it's
yeah, but what I'm saying is when because the current is a proportion of voltage and resistance. So higher the voltage, that means the lower the resistance.
resistance is what you get from your wire.
Yeah.
You can improve your wire and make it thicker, then you can decrease resistance.
Yeah, and so when we get to, so that means that the heating losses will be lower if we increase the voltage, and it can be sent to further distances. There's a lot more to this than just these two formulas. This is just a brief introduction. There's more. There's also a three-phase electric power. So maybe that will explain. So it's a common method of alternating current, electric power generation, transmission and distribution. So it is a type of polyphase system and is the most common method used by grids worldwide to transfer power. It is also used to power large motors and other large loads. So a three-phase system is generally more economical than other DC systems because it uses less conductor material to transmit electric power. So the three-phase system was introduced and patented by Nikola Tesla in the years from 1887 to 1889. So in a three-phase system, three circuit conductors carry three alternating currents of the same frequency, which reach their instantaneous peak values at different times. Taking one conductor as a reference, the other two currents are delayed in time by 1/3 and 2/3 of one cycle of the electric current. So this delay between phases has the effect of giving constant power transfer over each cycle of the current and also makes it possible to produce a rotating magnetic field in an electric motor.
You have that in seconds, or just to get an idea?
What's that?
You have the delay in seconds?
It's as I'm saying, I'm not a physicist. I'm a
Delay is 1/3
It's
of a cycle.
yeah.
Yeah, but what's the cycle?
Cycle
Very
maybe
short.
50 years or
Short
60
in
years.
seconds, meaning? or
Much less than a second.
half a
Like
second?
50 hertz, like maybe 1/50.
That's like 50 times in a second.
50 times 50 hertz.
Okay.
One cycle.
Okay, I suggest that Marko finishes his speech like in one whole, and then you remember your questions, and then you can do it after he finishes his question. We have plenty of time.
Alright, so this magnetic field Nikola Tesla made a three-phase induction motors whose rotor has no electrical power, but the induction of the rotating magnetic field induced current in the rotor, which then acts as a magnet in a rotating magnetic field. But rotors of electric DC motors had to have brushes at the commutator, and they were often spoiled, and especially ones that were passing through large currents. So he was born in Smidan in Croatia. His father was a priest and his mother was an inventor for her own household appliances. Tesla studied at Realschule Karlstad in 1873 in Austria at the Polytechnic Institute in Graz, Austria, and he also studied in the University of Prague. So at first he intended to specialize in physics and mathematics, but soon he became fascinated with electricity. He began his career as an electrical engineer with a telephone company in Budapest in 1881. So Tesla had more than 700 patents to his name. So this was just a brief introduction of what I think are Tesla's most important contributions to the society and a small introduction of his life. So this is what I think are Tesla's most important contributions of patents that he actually made. But I think there's a lot more distribution to the patents that that are not made yet, but they can be made in modern society. So now we're coming to the part that is called America, the Promised Land. So Tesla immigrated from Croatia to America in 1884 in his late 20s. So he accepted the Edison's invitation to work with Edison, and he went to America. So since the young man had a dream to test the power of Niagara Falls, and he thought that America will find the necessary funds to finance his projects, he decided to go. So the letter of recommendation, which was sent by Tesla's boss in Budapest to Edison, stated, "I know two great men. One is you, Edison, and the other is this young man." He quickly progressed in the company and made several improvements on Edison's DC power generator. He was offered 50,000 American dollars, which is approximately $1.5 million in today's currency, to complete redesigning his generator. And during 1 year of intensive work, Tesla made several patents for Edison's company, which enabled the creation of a massive profit. So when everything was finished, he asked for his money because he improved his generator. Edison has violated his promise, saying, "Tesla, you do not understand our American humor." After that, Tesla immediately quit working for Edison. So next year, Tesla spends trying to find financial support, but failed in establishing his own company. In 1888, Tesla begins his collaboration with George Westinghouse, the famous and wealthy businessman from Pittsburgh. Westinghouse purchased Tesla's patents, and all indicators were showing that this is going to be a fruitful cooperation. They signed a contract in which Tesla was being awarded with payment for every horsepower of electricity that he produced. In 1893, as the crown of the long-term cooperation, Tesla and Westinghouse illuminated the World's Fair in Chicago. At night, the fair was lit by electricity. Who would light the fair would soon light the world. But Edison and Westinghouse both put in bids to light the fair. So General Electric Company, Edison's and Morgan's company, first bid to light the fair for $1.8 million. That bid did not go over well. The two did a second bid worth 500,000 American dollars. But unbeknown to General Electric, George Westinghouse, armed with Tesla's new induction motor, proposed to light the fair for $399,000. So Westinghouse won the contract. The effect of winning the bid would change history. Tesla's AC polyphase system would be on display for not only the US to see, but the whole world. So originally Tesla planned on using GE bulbs, but Edison, still probably angry at Tesla, would not sell those bulbs to Tesla and Westinghouse. So instead of that, they came up with a more efficient double stopper light bulb. So at night, the fair became a scene of wonderment as the light displayed the wonder of the fair and its location. Now, I would like to read a quotation from the book called "The Devil in the White City" by Eric Larson, where he describes this scene. If evenings at the fair were seductive, the nights were ravishing. The lamps that blazed every building and walkway produced the most elaborate demonstration of electric illumination ever attempted, and the first large-scale test of alternating current. The fair alone consumed 3 times as much electricity as the entire city of Chicago. These were important engineering milestones, but what visitors adored was the sheer beauty of seeing so many lights ignited in one place at one time. Every building, including the manufacturers and liberal arts building, was outlined in white bulbs. Giant searchlights, the largest ever made and said to be visible 60 miles away, had been mounted on the manufacturer's roof and swept the grounds and surrounding neighborhoods. Large colored bulbs lit the 100-foot plumes of water that burst from the McMoney's fountain. It was like getting a sudden vision of heaven. So, use the principle of light based on Tesla's polyphase system of alternating current that is still used today, forever changed humanity.